It was December 24th, 1945, in Fayetteville, West Virginia, a small town nestled in the Appalachian Hills. The Sodder family, George, Jenny, and their 10 children, lived in a 2-story house filled with the warmth of Christmas Eve. George, an Italian immigrant, had built a thriving coal trucking business, a testament to his grit in a land that wasn't always kind to outsiders. Jenny, the heart of the home, kept their large family close-knit. Their children, ranging from 2 to 23, were the pride of their hard-won American dream. But that night, that dream would twist into a nightmare. 5 of the children, Maurice, 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 9, Jenny, 8, and Betty, 5, begged to stay up late, playing with new toys under the glow of the Christmas tree. Jenny, exhausted, agreed, tucking the youngest into bed before joining George and the older boys in sleep. The house settled into silence, the kind that feels heavy, expectant. Outside, the winter air was crisp, the hills cloaked in a faint, eerie mist. At 12:30 a.m., the phone shattered the quiet. Jenny stumbled downstairs to answer it. A woman's voice, unfamiliar and cold, asked for someone Jenny didn't know. In the background, laughter and clinking glasses suggested a party, but the tone felt wrong, almost mocking. Jenny hung up, her unease growing. She glanced around the house. The lights were on, the doors unlocked. Strange, since she'd checked them earlier. Assuming the children had been careless, she secured the house and returned to bed, brushing off the chill creeping up her spine. By 1 a.m., Jenny woke again, this time to the acrid smell of smoke. She screamed for George. Flames were swallowing the first floor, clawing toward the children's rooms upstairs. Panic erupted. George, Jenny, and 4 of their children, John, Marion, George Jr., and Sylvia, fought through the chaos to escape. But the 5 children upstairs were cut off, their cries muffled by the roar of the fire. George, desperate, smashed a window to reach them, slicing his arm. He ran for a ladder kept outside, but it was gone, inexplicably missing. He tried to climb the burning wall, only to collapse, scorched and defeated. The family stood in the snow, helpless, as their home became an inferno. By dawn, the house was a smoldering ruin. The Sodders waited for the worst news, the remains of their children. But none came. No bones, no fragments, nothing. The fire department, delayed for hours by a broken truck and a holiday skeleton crew, arrived too late. They declared it an electrical fault, a tragic accident. The children, they insisted, had perished in the blaze. But George and Jenny refused to accept it. The fire had burned too quickly, less than 45 minutes, while crematoriums, they later discovered, require hours at 2,000 degrees to reduce bones to ash. This fire wasn't hot enough. So where were Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty? The Sodders' grief hardened into determination. They sifted through the ashes themselves, finding no trace of their children. But they did find something else. A small rubber object, scorched but intact, later identified as a possible incendiary device. The mystery deepened. Days before the fire, a stranger had loitered near their home, watching the children play. He'd questioned George about his business, his Italian roots, with an edge that felt like a warning. Weeks earlier, another man, an insurance salesman, had tried to sell George a policy. When George refused, the man snarled, "Your house will burn and your children will pay for your sins." George, a vocal critic of Mussolini's regime, had made enemies among local Italian immigrants who supported the fascist leader. Was this retribution? More clues emerged, each one stranger than the last. A telephone repairman admitted the phone line had been cut before the fire, not burned, suggesting sabotage. Witnesses claimed they saw a car speeding away from the Sodder home that night, with children inside. A waitress at a diner 50 miles away swore she served the Sodder children breakfast on Christmas morning, their faces pale, two men hovering over them like guards. A hotel worker in Charleston reported seeing the kids with an Italian couple weeks later. Each lead fizzled, but the Sodders clung to hope. George and Jenny became detectives in their own right. They hired private investigators, consulted psychics, and followed every tip, no matter how bizarre. One lead took them to a circus in Ohio, where a woman claimed to have seen the children in a traveling troupe. Another came from a drifter who said he'd heard of a kidnapping ring targeting Italian families. The Sodders plastered billboards across West Virginia, offering $5,000 for information, their children's faces staring out from grainy photos. "What happened to our children?" the signs pleaded. The community rallied at first, but as years passed, some whispered the Sodders were delusional, chasing ghosts.